Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, we can start, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Prasadeshwar Krishna Prabhu. We'll be sharing the nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter number 26, sloka number 22 and 23. Over to you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to serve the Vaishnavas and Srimad Bhagavatam. So, as Prabhu said, we'll discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam today, 4th Canto, 26 chapter, verse 22 and 23. We'll start with the prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayate. Breshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Kam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurundinatarinam. Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome all for Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, chapter 26, text 22 and 23. We'll read the verse. Paramo anugraho dhando pratyeshu prabhunarpitaha balo naveda tattanvi bandhukrityam amarshanaha. Paramo anugraho dhando pratyeshu prabhunarpitaha balo naveda tattanvi bandhukrityam amarshanaha. Paramo anugraho dando bharteshu prabhunarpitaha balo naveda tattanvi bandhukrityam amarshanaha. Synonyms and translations and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Paramaha, supreme, anugraha, mercy, dandaha, punishment, bharteshu, upon the servants, prabhuna, by the master, arpitaha, awarded, balaha, foolish, na, does not, veda, no, tat, that, tanvi, or slender maiden, bandhu krityam, the duty of a friend, amarshanaha, angry. Translation: my dear slender maiden, when a master chastises his servant, the servant should accept this as a great mercy. One who becomes angry must be very foolish not to know that such is the duty of his friend. Purport: it is said that when a foolish man is instructed in something very nice, he generally cannot accept it. Indeed, he actually becomes angry. Such anger is compared to the poison of a serpent. For when a serpent is fed milk and bananas, its poison actually increases. Instead of becoming merciful or sober, the serpent increases its poisonous venom when fed these foodstuffs. Similarly, when a fool is instructed, he does not rectify himself, but actually becomes angry. His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Melitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Shatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So once again, thank you, Sankarshana Prabhu, for giving me that opportunity. So yesterday we had a very, very wonderful class by His Grace Pramanita Prabhu. Prabhu has covered so nicely what is the punishment, what is the chastisement, and he has covered so nice pastimes from Chaitanya Lila, many pastimes. So today we'll not repeat that, but we'll try to cover few more points. And also next sloka, how the bodily attachment, what here Puranjana talking about, and also we'll try to connect few points from the holy name, because of the holy name week going on. With time permits, we'll try to discuss few points on that. Hare Krishna. So we'll now, yesterday Prabhu has covered so nicely about the punishment point. As disciple, how we should take, not even punishment, it's chastisement. I will not take it as a punishment. It's a chastisement. So chastisement for the correction of a disciple or the follower. So that's how we should be taken. Now, what should be the mood of disciple? Yesterday, Prabhu has nicely covered. So few points I'm just trying to cover here is that how Arjuna's mood. Arjuna, how he surrendered to Krishna, how he took all the instructions from Krishna, in total, tattvataha, I mean, without any deviation or without any its own concoction. That's why Srila Prabhupada also says that, when we have to imbibe the quality of Arjuna. Arjuna here, Bhagavata says that, 2.7, Karpanya dosha upahata swabhava prachamitam dharma samudra chetaha yashreyashayan nischitam vohitan me shishyasteham shadimatva prapanna. He says, I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me clearly what is best for me. Now I am your disciple, a soul surrender unto you. Please instruct me. So this is the mood in which we, or I'm talking about myself, we should accept spiritual master or spiritual master's representative, because many times we may not have direct access to our spiritual master always, but our local leaders, our Siksha Guru, our local leaders are representing spiritual master. So we should go in this mood that, because I'll not have any intelligence, I have nothing, no instructions, intelligence. So I need to go and ask somebody senior. Here, like how Arjuna says, I'm confused. So many times we are also confused. So in that condition, we should go and clearly ask, what should I do? What is my duty? What is my dharma? What should I do? What should not do? This is how I should go, the mood of Arjuna. That's why Prabhupada says, if somebody want to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should imbibe the qualities of Arjuna. So Arjuna goes in that, and he says that I'm your disciple and soul surrender unto, please instruct me. Because unless I go and ask my seniors, please tell me what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right. Because many times a spiritual master or spiritual master representative, they may not come and correct unless we go and ask. Because if we don't show the willingness, they may not. Sometimes they show mercy, but every time may not happen. But if I want to correct myself, if I want to improve, it's my duty to go and ask. So mood of Arjuna. And the word disciple, Prabhupada says disciple means disciplined. Unless I am disciplined, I cannot be good disciple. So this is the fundamentals of a disciple. I should be disciplined. Disciplined all respect, not just one respect, Discipline, what I follow, discipline the way I behave, discipline in how is my sadhana. In all places, I should show that discipline. When that is discipline, I can be good disciple. Now, how spiritual master chastises, like how Krishna tells Arjuna, he says that Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ashoshan Anmashochanta Prajasta Badam Sacha Bhashasa Gatan Shru Agatha Shrumscha Nashoshanti Panditaha Nanusoshanti Panditaha. The blessed Lord said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for dead. No, here Lord says, Arjuna, you are talking like a Pandita, but you are not. You are grieving for which is not supposed to. So I'm not bringing that point here. The point is that how spiritual master or senior or representative of Guru, how they can correct us, what we should do, what we should not do. Here, Lord Krishna is clearly telling Arjuna, what should you do? What should be your mood? What should you lament or you should not lament? He says you should not lament on this body which is not going to in any way continue, is going to perish. In the next loka, we are going to discuss more about this point, because there, Puranjana talks about the body of, how the temporary nature of body, and Prabhupada gives nice purport in that. So the point is that we should accept our spiritual master or senior's instruction as it is. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Prabhu kahe suna Sripada hira karana. 1 second. It's Guru mora murkha dekhi karila sashana. So how Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he says, my dear sir, kindly hear the reason my spiritual master considered me a fool. Therefore, he chastised me. Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Prakashan Saraswati that my Guru Maharaj told me that I'm a fool. So I don't have any intelligence. That's why I chant this holy name. So the mood in which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Supreme Lord himself, taken, that mood we should have imbibed. When that mood is imbibed, the chastisement, it becomes real mercy. Otherwise, like yesterday, Pramanita Prabhu said, many times it will become an impediment in our bhakti. Because if I get angry, if I start developing grudge, oh, he said like this, why did he say that? I'm correct, So that is what here Mahaprabhu is showing. Similarly, Mahaprabhu, how he is chastised Balabhadra Bhattacharya. He says that you are supposed to be an well-known person, and how can you do this kind of a mistake? And he literally slapped him and said that you are a learned scholar, but you become a fool, being influenced by statement of other fools. So we should understand what quality we should develop, because in the society today we find so many people who, in the guise of learned, they may be having so many degrees, PhDs, doctorates, but here what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying that, or Srila Prabhupada's purport, they are fools in their respect because they have no idea of the fundamentals, like are we spirit soul, are we this body? That fundamental is not there, and what is the goal of life, which is not there. That's why here Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastising Bhattacharya, Balabhadra Bhattacharya, that you behave like a fool. So that's the point I'm trying to make here. Otherwise, many times it so happens that we may serve Maya, not Krishna. So that is the point we need to understand. So there are other pastimes like, how Vyasadeva was chastised by Narada Muni, not doing the right thing. Vyasadeva has written so many scriptures, like Vedas, Puranas, but since he has not glorified the Supreme Lord, Narada Muni actually chastised him and said, you are wasted your own time, plus you have wasted your followers' time also, those who are reading. So you write the glories of Krishna and devotees in Srimad Bhagavata. Similarly, we know Govardhan Leela, how Lord Krishna chastised Indra for his mistakes. Like Indra prays that, my Lord, you are the Supreme Father, Supreme Spiritual Master, Supreme King. Therefore, you have the right to chastise all living entities whenever there is any discrepancy in their behavior. So Indra himself, how he is surrendering and praying to the Supreme Lord. This is how, we have to develop. Now, many times we may not get direct chastisement from Krishna or a spiritual master. That will come through our seniors or our fellow devotees. We should take the same mood. And when I say we, I'm talking about me. Please correct me. So I should take the same mood, how chastisement or the punishment or the word of correction comes from the others. So when I take that, I'll understand it is for my purification, is for my betterment. We'll move on to the next sloka, because majority of the chastisement yesterday, Pranitababu gave nicely chastised. Okay, so we'll move on to the next sloka. We'll read that, then we'll try to 2 more points. Satvam mukam sudati subha anugraha bhara vridha vilamba vilasa dasito valokam nila kalibir upakrutam unnasam maha swanam pradarshya manashvini valguvakya. Sa, that, you, my wife, twa, you, mukham, your face, sudhati, with the beautiful teeth, subhru, with the beautiful eyebrows, anuragha, attachment, bhara, loaded by vridha, feminine shyness, vilamba, hanging down, vilasat, shining, hasita, smiling, avalokam, with glance, neela, bluish, alaka, with the hair, alibihi, be like, upaskritam, thus being beautiful, unnasam, with raised nose, na, to me, swanam, who I am, who am yours, pradarshaya, please show, manashvini, O most thoughtful lady, valgu vakyam, with the sweet words. Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear wife, your teeth are very beautifully set, and your attractive features make you appear very thoughtful. Kindly give up your anger, be merciful upon me, and please smile upon me with loving attachment. When I see a smile on your beautiful face, and when I see your hair, and which is beautiful as the color blue, and see your raised nose, and hear your sweet talk, you will become more beautiful to me, and thus attract me, oblige me. You are my most respected mistress. Purport. An effeminate husband, simply being attracted by the external body of his wife, tries to become her most obedient servant. Sripad Sankaracharya has therefore advised that we not become attracted by a lump of flesh and blood. The story is told that one time a man very much attracted to a beautiful woman, wooed the woman in such a way that she devised plan to show him the ingredients of her beauty. The woman made a date to see him, and before seeing him, she took purgative, and that whole day and night she simply passed stool, and she preserved that stool in a pot. The next night, when the man came to see her, she appeared very ugly and emaciated. when the man inquired from her about the woman with whom he had an engagement. She replied, "I am that very woman." The man refused to believe her, not knowing what she had lost all her beauty due to the violent prerogative that caused her to pass stool day and night. When the man began to argue with her, the woman said that she was not looking beautiful because she was separated from the ingredients of her beauty. When the man asked how she could do so separated, the woman said, "Come on, I will show you." She then showed him the pot filled with the liquid stool and vomit. Thus, the man became aware that beautiful woman is simply a lump of matter composed of blood, stool, urine, and similar other disgusting ingredients. This is the actual fact, but in state of illusion, man becomes attracted by illusionary beauty and becomes victim of Maya. King Puranjana begged his queen to return to her original beauty. He tried to revive her just as living entity tries to revive his original consciousness, Krishna consciousness, which is very beautiful. All the beautiful features of the queen could be compared to the beautiful features of Krishna consciousness. When one returns to his original Krishna consciousness, he actually becomes steady and his life becomes successful. Okay. So the story, we all know that we're repeating every day, how Puranjana, here glorifying the intelligent, his wife, So here in the previous verse, he talks about the chastisement. Now he is really glorifying her, how beautiful you are. So we are not going to get into that. Instead of that, of course, here, nice story also, Srila Prabhupada narrates here how the woman's beauty, separated by the stool and vomit. Now, we'll try to focus on the, last paragraph of Srila Prabhupada's purport, where King Puranjana begging queen to return her original beauty. Prabhupada compares that to the living entity trying to revive his original consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So here also how Puranjana, when he's away from his wife, so the soul is away from intelligence. Here, how the living entity, when away from the Krishna consciousness, we have to revive that beautiful Krishna consciousness. So the beauty of the wife, of course, Prabhupada corrects sometimes saying that it's not just wife alone, it's opposite sex. So man attraction get a woman at getting attracted to man. The both are equally. Let's not confuse with only the man getting attracted to woman. It's both ways. So here the point is that how we should revive our Krishna consciousness, how we should get attracted to that beauty of Krishna consciousness and the beauty of Lord's pastimes, the beauty of Lord's glories, the beauty of the Lord's holy name. Now the Holy Name Week is going on. It's a good opportunity for all of us to get attracted to that beauty, get attracted to that holy name, which can save all of us from this material nuisance and take us back to Godhead and connect, like how Puranjana is requesting the queen, please come back, give your association. Same way we can plead Supreme Lord Krishna, please give me your name. That beautiful feature of Krishna that can make us bring to the original consciousness. Prabhupada says that actually becomes steady and his life becomes successful. So to make our life successful, the only way to take up Krishna consciousness seriously, and especially in Kali Yuga, the main process itself is chanting the holy name. Like Prabhupada says that 99% of our Krishna consciousness depends on how we chant. So chanting is the key, the point. So by chanting, we can get attracted to Krishna consciousness. Of course, along with the chanting, other things like prasadam and philosophy, all those things comes. Like here, another shloka here talks about how Shankaracharya, he said, Govindam bhaje Govindam mudhamate. He said, a mudha, worship Govinda. You know, many times Shankaracharya followers maybe little deviated from that. But Shankaracharya made this point very clear. We should worship that Supreme Lord, Govinda. He also says that here, do not get drowned in a delusion, infatuated with the passion and lusty desires by seeing a woman's raised breast and navel. There is nothing but modification of flesh and fat and like. Do not fail to remember this again and again in your mind. Naristambharam nabidesham. He says, you know, of course, again, I'm repeating, it's not just man getting attracted to woman, woman getting attracted to man also. The point Sripad Shankaracharya is making that the bodily attractions are temporary. Bodily attractions are taking us back to drain, back to hell. But if you take up the real attraction to the Supreme Lord, or get attracted to this holy name, that will take us back to the Golok Vrindavan. So that is the point here, making it. So when you understand that, we are able to, go back. Like Krishna says in Bhagavata, Dhayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangate Teshu Payate Sanga Sanjayate Kama Kamat Krodha Abhijayate. While contemplating the objects of senses, person develops attachment for them. And thus, and from such an attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. So how the attachment to the bodily or material activities, how it takes us to the lust and anger. And of course, further he says, when you develop lust, anger, you are lost everything. Your intelligence lost, everything lost. In today's world also, we see, if you open the newspaper, so many, the headlines is coming is because of attachment to the lust or sense gratification. If you understand what all that happening is connected to that, I mean, without naming anyone, whatever happens in the newspaper or outside world, if you see, it's because of that. Now, we as a practicing devotees, it's our utmost, care should be taken on this, that we should not get captured, we get carried away with this kind of activities, because today's society is mainly depend on the attraction to man, woman to man. That's all. If some company want to promote a product, they put some pictures of hero, heroine. That's it. They don't even, give the ingredients of the product, but the picture, that's what people get attracted. So this material vishaya, material subjects, that develops attachment for the material things, and that further develops to lust and anger, and with that we will be losing everything. Like in a previous verse, he says, if anybody want to the real success, our real success should be, that understand we should go back to Krishna, Golok Vrindavan. Like in Bhagavatam, Lord tells Uddhava, Vishaya andhayatha stittam Vishayeshu vishajyate ma anusmaratas sachittaha maya eva praviliyate. The mind of one meditating upon the objects of sense gratification is certainly entangled in such objects. But if one constantly remembers me, then the mind is absorbed me. So this is what Lord is telling to Uddhava. So it's all what we are thinking, what we are meditating, because accordingly our mind gets filled with the subject matter. So Lord says that once meditating upon the objects of senses certainly is entangled in such objects, our mind is always will be filled with so many things. Somebody was telling that if somebody take an X-ray of a man's brain, we can see what all things there. And I say man or woman, whoever it is, so I'm saying human. So all this ingredients are there, the material things, because of our past working, past associations, whatever it is, our thinking all filled with this material. That's why Prabhupada said that the brainwashing required. When the allegation was that ISKCON doing brainwashing, Prabhupada said, yes, we have to wash. We have to cleanse that, the storehouse of those material objects in the brain. When that cleanses only, the real thing can go in. Otherwise, there's no place. Like our children are so innocent, but when they start growing, all this contamination gets into that. Because today's world said that we have all kind of media, all kind of, so-called the information giving system to give all kind of wrong information only, than giving the real, the information which is required for the life of the particular person. Because all the information talks about sense gratification and me and mine only. Nowhere talks about how we can serve the society, how we can serve Krishna. That is not there. How we, I'm not saying Krishna means in any particular religion. Any another religion also, in whether whichever religion, there is no sense of serving God. It's all serving me and my ego, my position, me and mine. That's it. Nowhere talks about anything else beyond that. Even the smallest the classes, they talk about a fighting to get even 1 mark more and beat somebody else. It's not that I should get more, I should beat somebody else. I should get more than that, more than other person. That is the competition. So here, that's why Krishna says that kind of thinking, they'll get entangled here. Like Shankaracharya says, Punarapi Jananam, Puranapi Maranam, that entanglement will not come. But he says, one if constantly remembers, then the mind is absorbed me. That absorption will take us back to Godhead. That absorption make our life successful. So being a holy name comes, holy name week, it's all good fortunate for all of us to chant as much as possible and arrange kirtan programs and glorifying Supreme Lord and engage as many devotees also in this process. So that will help us to understand better and get absorbed. Like Srila Prabhupada says that ISKCON temple, throughout the day, he has put so many systematic programs so that we have full day activities, 24/7. We are busy. There is no time for thinking beyond that, because idle mind is devil workshop, that's saying that, because that mind has to be always engaged in Krishna service. Like here Lord says, absorbed in him. That is our real goal of life. Like in Bhagavatam 11th canto, there is a story of Pururava. How Pururava, when he was connected with the Urvashi, and when she left, here like how Puranjana is away from his wife, the Pururava story also goes in the similar lines. How he is, lamenting. He says, what is that polluted body anyway? So filthy and full of bad odors. I was attracted by the fragrance and beauty of woman's body. But what are those so-called attractive features? They are simply false covering created by illusion. Again, when he says, he's talking about his wife, but it's for us that man, woman, man. He says, Prayam Malisha Kayo. He says, it's a full of polluted. It's nothing. And we are getting attracted so much. We are glorifying that here, like Puranjana, how is glorifying that, body. Of course, we are not saying that we should, neglect our body, or we should take care of body. But too much attracted to opposite sex and getting deluded in that is the point we are saying. So at the same time, we are not saying that grahasthas should not get married. No, all these things require, marriage require, the attachment or is required. So that, because Krishna has given us this partner so that we can serve Krishna better. and we can produce better Krishna conscious children. So this is the philosophy what Srila Prabhupada gives. So that is the mood in which we should take. Otherwise, like Pururava is telling, it's full of order. If you really consider whatever comes out of my body, it's bad only. Nothing comes out. Whatever goes inside is good. Like if I eat prasadam, but comes out bad. Because so it's our body is like that. So that body, when it's used for service of Krishna, that becomes a real glory. Otherwise, it becomes waste. Now, here one or two verses from Pururava story. Maybe take a second. Yeah. Yeah. So here further Pururava says, what the use of big education or the practice of austerities and renunciation? What the use of studying religion scriptures, of living in secluded silence, if after all that one's mind is stolen by a woman? Kim vidya, kim tapasa, kim tyagena shruthena va, kim vivektena maunena Shritibhir yasya manohritam. He says that, what is the use of all those opulences? What is the use of also all of austerities? What is the use of all those intelligent and education if that is not used for Krishna service, and if it's used, that mind used for attraction for opposite sex, the stolen by woman, So we have seen so many the great personalities, so-called great in the society, they are lost, they have fallen because of this. Even in the Shastras we can see, but even in today's society we can see it's happening, and it's continued to happen because the real education is not given. That's why Prabhupada talks about Gurukula system, how the boy and girl should be educated, how the boy up to 25 years go through the brahmacharya. And it's not just brahmacharya. Prabhupada says that when you follow that, he becomes a good grahastha because he knows exactly what is to be done, what not to be done. Similarly, how a girl has been taught chastity, how should be chaste to her husband. So that spouse relationship is that what Prabhupada is kind of focusing in many of his lectures. And himself, even being a sannyasi, he made his disciples to get married because he wanted that grahasthashramas to be established. But the point is that not to get attracted to the opposite sex. Here, why Prabhupada did that? Otherwise, those time in America, they had no knowledge of our scriptures or Vedic marriage. They were living together, man, woman, there is no restrictions. That's why Prabhupada says that that mingling of man and woman has to be restricted or controlled as much as possible. So otherwise, like Pururava says that here, our intelligence, our, the education, it's all it's a waste. There's no meaning in our, getting all those studies. Even austerities, tapasya, it's all waste. Many people do so many tapasya. After many years of tapasya, like a small one incident, they lose everything. They just lose their austerities because of one small incident for sense gratifications. Similarly, here Pururava is next verse says that he says that one can never decide whose property this body actually is. Does it belongs to one's parents and one who has given birth to it, or one's wife, or who gives its pleasure, or to one's employer who orders the body around, if it is the property of the funeral fire, or if of the dogs and jackals who may ultimately devour it, it is a property of undwelling soul who partakes in the happiness and distress, or does the body belongs to intimate friend who encourages and help it, although a man never definitely ascertain the proprietor of the body, he becomes most attached to it. The material body is polluted material form heading towards the lowly destination. And yet, when a man stares at the face of woman, he thinks, oh, what a good-looking lady. What a charming nose she got. And she sees her beautiful smile. Like here, how Puranjana talks about the beauty of the queen. Here, Pururava also is saying that that's how the attraction for opposite sex happens. But he makes a very, very important point. Whom this body belongs to? Is this body belongs to the parents given birth, or to a spouse? When I say wife or spouse, who gives the pleasure, but again, pleasure for the body, or to an employer. We are all worked in a corporate for so many years, right? So they make us the slog. Sometimes they say 8 hours, but it goes to 12 hours, 13 hours. Is that body belongs to them? Or the property of funeral fire? And when we lose this body, when we leave this body, the body goes to the funeral fire. Or vultures, or if it is put into the earth, is worms, and finally who eat this body. So to whom this body belongs to? Is it belongs to the soul, who has really given a companion throughout the different bodies, or is it belongs to a friend who just encourages in a different activities? So this is the point we should meditate. Whom I am belong to, what I am supposed to do. Like Ambarish Maharaj says that how this body is, all the senses should be engaged. Similarly, this body is to be engaged in the Krishna service. Like Lord tells Uddhava, if you absorb in the bodily features, material sense gratifications, will end up there only. Instead of that, we absorb in the holy name. We absorb in the Krishna's pastimes. This whole body can be used for Krishna's service. So otherwise, we always get attracted to those aspects and we end up in trouble. Like there is a nice pastime in Ramanujacharya's Kurattalvar, Kuresha. So once so happened that the one king, the Shivite king, who instructed that everybody should follow the Shiva worship, Lord Shiva worship, Sripad Ramanujacharya was, propagating Vaishnavism. So he was not very happy, or he was angry against Sripad Ramanujacharya. He sent his soldiers to go and arrest, Sripad Ramanujacharya. So at that time, the Kurattalvar, Kuresha, took the dress of Sripad Ramanujacharya, and he presented himself as Ramanujacharya, because he wanted to save his guru from the arrest of by soldiers. And he has requested Sripad Ramanujacharya, go away from here. So the Kurattalvar, Kuresha, and another devotee was arrested. And in that discussion, actually, Kurattalvar defeats the other Shivite. So king was not very happy, and he asked the soldiers to remove his eyes. They actually literally plucked off his eyes. And by the time Sripad Ramanujacharya left Srirangam and reached Melukote, after several years, that king passed away. Now the Sripad Ramanujacharya returned back to Sri Rangam. So that's the time Kurattalvar comes to meet Sripad Ramanujacharya. So at that time, Sripad Ramanujacharya told Kurattalvar, go and ask Varadaraj Perumal that please give my vision back. So Kuresha one day went and he did not ask. He thought, how can I ask anything for myself? How can I ask anything for my body? No, I will not ask. He came back. After a few days, again, Sripad Ramanujacharya saw Kuresha. He said, what happened? Did you ask Sripad, the Varadaraj Perumal? He said, no. Then asked why. Then Kurattalvar said, my Gurudev, how can I ask anything for myself? How can I ask anything for my pleasure? Then Sripad Ramanujacharya gave a nice lesson. He said, who told you that this body belongs to you? Who told you that this eyes belongs to you? This body and eyes doesn't belong to you. This eyes and body belongs to me, the Guru, because you are supposed to serve our Vaishnava philosophy, Vaishnava, Sampradaya. So he says that you have no right to say no. Please go and ask Varadaraj Perumal, give your vision. So next day he goes, he pleads in front of Varadaraj Perumal, and actually he gets his vision back. So the point I'm trying is that this body does not belong to me. This body belongs to my Guru. This body belongs to Krishna. When we do that, understand that, our real understanding comes. Otherwise, many times we end up doing certain things which are meant for sense gratification only. Like here further, he says, yet even one theoretically understands the actual nature of the body should never associate with the woman or with the man attached to woman. After all, contact of senses with the objects, with their objects, inevitably agitates the mind. So here Pururava says that, so we should not associate athapi nasu sajjate shrutishu steneshu chartha with. He says that one should not attracted or associate with the opposite sex, or the man or woman gets attached to that also. We should not go near to them. So we should always keep away from such people. That's why in our Vaishnava philosophy, association of devotees is so important. With whom we associate. When we associate with the such saintly person, our the consciousness becomes purified. Otherwise, here, like Pururava says, our minds gets agitated. When mind gets agitated, our all activities, gets deluded, and we becomes, slave for that. So now, last few minutes, we'll talk about how important is that the glorifying the Lord, how we can, being this holy name, how we can, glorify the Supreme Lord to the holy name. So there is one book, Namatattva, by Sri Gaura Govinda Swami Maharaj. He says that what we do actually, are we serving Krishna or serving Maya? He writes, I'll just read one paragraph, what he has written in the appendix. Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give a simple and easy process to understand this tattva. However, unless the heart of conditioned soul is purified and cleansed of all material dirt, he cannot understand this. Therefore, he gave Krishna Kirtana, chanting the holy name of Krishna. But this Krishna Kirtana should be Kirtana of actual transcendental name of Lord. We cannot call Kirtana of Maya. Krishna Kirtana, real Krishna Kirtana, is all auspicious all over the world. And Gaura Sundara, Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us this by giving teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he says, Krishna Kirtana means it should be Krishna Kirtana, not Maya Kirtana. And he says that it should go all over the world. Like here, 1 week, we are celebrating the Holy Name, World Holy Name Week. So that's what even that time is been told, and we should follow that. Whatever little possible in our own capacity, we should arrange whatever small kirtan sessions so that we all can participate, because being a devotee, is our job is to engage others. How will we engage? We have to organize that. When we organize something, we can call our neighbors, we can call our friends, so that everybody can participate. And further, he says that he says holy name is everything. He says Ele Shastra Marma, the purport of our revealed scripture is that name is everything. Sarva Mantra Shara, the holy name is the essence of all mantras. Kali Yuge Nama Rupe Krishna Avatara. In Kali Yuga, Krishna has advented as his holy name. Nama Heite Haya Sarva Jagat Nisthara. The whole world will be delivered if the holy name will be chanted. Like world holy name, here says Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also is referring to Mahaprabhu's Chaitanya Lila. He says, just by chanting the holy name, whole world can be delivered. He says, Ate cha nama matra Vaishnavera dharma name prapushtita haya rupa gana karma. He says, the Vaishnavas only dharma is to Harinam. That is the Harinam. And if you can chant the holy name offenselessly, in other words, the pure name, then everything, all beautiful form of Krishna and transcendental pastime Krishna, all that attributed to Krishna will be manifested before you. Nama prashpushita haya rupa guna karma. He says, Vaishnava's dharma is only one dharma. Our dharma is to chant the holy name and propagate this holy name and make as many people to chant the holy name. When we do that, naturally, the whole world will become, Krishna conscious. Like Prabhupada says that our duty is to spread the holy name as many people as possible. Like Mahaprabhu has ordered, Shraddhavan jane kara nama padesha nama mahimya purna harak sarvadesha. He says that Lord said, the faithful person, you should teach the glories of the holy name. Fill every country with the glories of the holy name. So these are the few instructions for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how we should take up the holy name. Like here Purura was saying, otherwise we will get agitated, deluded in our mind. Or like Puranjana says, is keep glorifying the opposite sex. But our mind has to be used, our mind has to be engaged with the chanting the holy name. Like Krishna says, one who's absorbed in his thinking will go back, he'll make his life successful. Otherwise, our life will be failure. With this, I'll stop here. If any comments, any feedback, please enlighten me. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Prabhu.
Thank you for wonderful class, Prabhu. So many points on importance of how we should engage ourselves, not in sense gratification, but in service of the Lord, and how we should actually really maintain the distance between the opposite sex, and also you glorified the holy name. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
The lines of devotees are unmuted. You may please share any questions or reflections or comments you may have.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Gaurasana Gopinath Prabhu. Please show your mercy from Vrindavan.
Thank you so much for the enlivening class. I like the point that this body is not belong to us, it belongs to the Guru, the Kureshas example. Thank you very much.
I will ask 5 minutes. If anybody want to share some more points, we can share. Otherwise, we can take one more points about the holy name? If nobody is there.
Hare Krishna,
Guruji, I
Prabhu.
just
Dandavad pranams. Thank you. Thank you for just reminding that this body belongs to Guru. Thank you for the reminder. And also thank you for just explaining through various examples of acharyas, how they have led by example. And also, like towards the end, you talked about the significance of holy name. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, there are a couple of comments in the chat window. I'll read it out. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for wonderful class. That was from Uttara Mataji. Saraswati Mataji also mentioned Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for wonderful teaching. Prabhuji, he said you will share something else, one more point. You can share it, Prabhuji. There are no questions.
Okay. So this is Sri Nama Smarile Rupa Aisa Sange Sange Rupa Nama Bhinna Nayana Che Nana Rangi. Not only this beautiful form, but also his transcendental leelas will manifest before you. That is the advanced stage. However, this preliminary initial stage, you cannot experience this because you commit too many offenses and your chanting is not pure. Therefore, we discuss all these offenses and give these instructions to you. Try with this much love to avoid one after another from committing these offenses, and just try to chant the pure name without offenses. That's our goal. Then pure name will give you prema. Prabhupada says here. So just to conclude, point is that when we chant the holy name, the pure holy name, without any offenses, and of course daily we read the 10 offenses, but how much I am imbibing that 10 offenses in my chanting and my behavior, that's most important here. That's why Prabhupada says, yes, we are all going through the process. We are right process, yes, but that process has to be taken seriously. When we taken seriously, follow these 10 offenses seriously, that's Prabhupada says, your chanting will becomes pure. When the chanting become pure, our life really successful. There is no problem can disturb us when we have a pure chanting. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Since there are no questions, maybe we can end with Vaishnava Pranam.
Sure, Prabhu.
Vancha kalpata rubhyasya kripa sindho jayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nitra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Holy name week ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Prabhu. Thank you.
Tagore Premanandi Haribo.
Hare Hare.
I'll end the Zoom session now.